pause your feed, because Seychelles travel tips and things to do in Seychelles span the entire Seychelles Islands. From Mahe Island to La Digue and Praslin, Seychelles isn't about one single kind of paradise. Set in the Indian Ocean off the east coast of Africa, Seychelles offers very different experiences depending on where you stay. Choosing the wrong island here can quietly distort the experience you thought you were coming for. Some islands are built for stillness, slow mornings, and water so calm your body forgets urgency. Others are active, social, and shaped by movement, where the beaches remain stunning but the energy feels more alive. They pulse with people, sound, and motion, creating experiences that feel dynamic rather than quietly immersive. In this video, I'm breaking down the top 10 things to do in Seychelles, not just what looks good in photos, but what it actually feels like when you're there. Breathing the air, moving through the day, and letting the islands set the pace. I'll show you where Seychelles settles your nervous system and where it keeps you engaged. Which experiences deserve time versus those best experienced briefly? Here's the real question: do you want the Seychelles that slows you down, or the Seychelles that keeps you moving? Starting at number 1, relax at Anse Lazio, La Digue Island, Seychelles. This is the place that defines Seychelles in most people's minds before they ever arrive. Walking onto this beach immediately changes your sense of time because the water barely moves and nothing feels urgent. Granite boulders curve around the shoreline, creating shallow pools that feel sheltered rather than open. You step into the lagoon slowly, not because you're cautious, but because the environment invites patience. The sounds here are minimal. Soft water movement, distant birds, no mechanical noise, nothing pulling your attention forward. As the light shifts, the stillness deepens, and it feels like the beach is designed to hold you in place, rather than encourage exploration. Number 2, swim at Anse Lazio, Praslin Island, Seychelles. Anse Lazio introduces a very different relationship with space. The shoreline opens wide, and the water carries gentle movement that encourages you to go farther instead of staying put. Swimming here feels expansive rather than contained, as if the beach is giving you room instead of boundaries. You float longer, letting distance build behind you without concern. The waves are present but never demanding, adding energy without noise. By the time you return to shore, the openness feels grounding rather than overwhelming. Number 3, explore Vallée de Mahé, Praslin Seychelles. This is where Seychelles stops feeling tropical and starts feeling ancient. The forest closes overhead almost immediately, muting sound and filtering light into soft layers. Coco de Mer palms tower above you, making scale feel unfamiliar and humbling. Your pace slows instinctively, not from effort, but from awareness. The air feels heavier, quieter, and more deliberate. Being here feels like stepping into a living system that existed long before visitors were ever part of it. Number 4, meet giant tortoises at the Giant Turtle Sanctuary, Curieuse Island, Seychelles. Nothing in this space reacts to urgency. Giant tortoises move deliberately across open land, unconcerned with observation or schedules. You stop anticipating the next moment and begin watching movement that refuses to hurry. Time stretches in a way that feels natural instead of forced. Even your breathing adjusts without instruction. The experience quietly resets perspective, reminding you that longevity has its own rhythm. Number 5, cycle throughout La Digue Village, Seychelles. La Digue moves at bicycle speed, and the island never asks for more. You ride past beaches, homes, and palm-lined roads without traffic or noise. There's no destination demanding attention, which makes movement feel light instead of purposeful. You stop when you want, move when you want, and never feel behind. The ride becomes the experience rather than the way to reach one. By the time you finish, effort has completely disappeared. Number 6, hike at Morne Blanc, Mahe Island, Seychelles. The rainforest tightens as you climb, narrowing focus with each step upward. Sound fades, replaced by breath and footfall. Mist gathers near the summit, briefly obscuring the view before it opens wide. The coastline below feels earned rather than revealed. You pause longer than expected, letting your breathing settle. The clarity that follows feels clean, physical, and unmistakably real. Number 7. Snorkeling the coral reefs, Beau, Vallon, Mahe, Seychelles. The reef exists quietly just beyond the shoreline, unchanged by your presence. Fish move calmly through coral gardens without scattering or reacting. You float more than you swim, letting the water carry you instead of directing it. Sunlight filters down in shifting patterns that slow your attention. There's no performance here, no spectacle. The experience feels personal because nothing is trying to impress you. Number 8. Visit Victoria Market, Victoria City, Mahé, Seychelles. This is where Seychelles becomes a lived place. The quiet rhythm of beaches gives way to voices, movement, and routine. You walk past stalls, conversations, and daily exchanges that reveal how the islands actually function. Nothing feels curated or staged. The beauty is still present, but it's practical and shared. Being here adds context rather than distraction. Number 9. Go on a sunset cruise or catamaran tour. Mahé Coastline, Seychelles. As the sun lowers, the coastline softens gradually. Color spreads across the water without urgency, shifting from gold to deeper tones. The ocean feels calmer, even if it hasn't changed. Conversation fades naturally as attention turns outward. No one feels rushed to document the moment. It feels like a release, rather than an ending. Finally, at number 10, go island hopping between Mahé, Praslin, and Digue Seychelles. Moving between islands reveals how different each emotional tone really is. Stillness, openness, grounding, and motion begin to layer instead of compete. Each transition adds contrast rather than confusion. The trip starts to feel intentional instead of accidental. Patterns emerge where moments once felt isolated. By the end, Seychelles feels understood rather than sampled. So now I'll ask you honestly, are you the traveler who wants time to stretch until it disappears? The quiet observer who wants the islands to slow everything down? Or the one who needs movement, contrast, and energy to feel fully present? In the next Seychelles video, I'll show you how to build a trip that actually flows, where to slow down, where to move faster, and how to avoid stacking experiences that cancel each other out. Because in Seychelles, sequencing shapes the feeling of the trip more than luxury ever could, influencing how each island unfolds and how every moment lingers long after you leave.